everybody. Dr. Toe here from the Dr. Toe Talks podcast. And today I I felt compelled to get on here and talk about this special day, January 6th. Because 4 years ago, I was at the Capitol. Mhm. And what happened 4 years ago today was not an insurrection by the people. It was an insurrection by our government on the people, if that's even possible, because, an insurrection means you're rebelling against the government or governing authority. But I find this very difficult, this whole scenario in general, how people could have even believed that this was the truth, because I grew up in DC. And if you know anything about the city, you are not allowed to have any weapons on you, especially guns. And so, you know, if the amount of people that were there that day, if they were there to riot and rebel, be seditious against the government, DC would have burned to the ground. No question. There were hundreds of thousands of people there. I witnessed it with my own eyes. Just before Trump stopped speaking from the Washington Monument and began walking to the Capitol early. And when my friends and I got there was somebody with a blowhorn near the steps of the Capitol telling people to push in. Push in, push in. And I have to say that it was kind of an unsettling voice that was on this blowhorn. And I really believe that this was somebody that was not there for the right reasons, that was stirring tensions and on purpose. So as things began to progress, people started filling in near the steps of the Capitol. Suddenly I started hearing, I was like, what is it? Because it was a gray day like today, and it was very cold and windy. And I was like, what is that? And the Capitol Police began to fire tear gas into the crowd at the steps of the Capitol and shoot rubber bullets. Now, this crowd was peaceful. Nobody was doing anything that was considered aggressive at all. They weren't even going through the barricades. And this began to happen. And I thought, seriously, they're tear gassing the people that are just peacefully protesting? And I had to laugh because most of the time the tear gas was going back into their own faces because the wind was blowing that way. But here's the other thing. I started to take a picture with my friends, and we were smiling, having a great time. I went around to many people, took pictures of the people that were, as far as the eye could see, beyond the Capitol, like the other direction. And nobody was doing anything violent at all. Zero. And I began to get text messages because soon after that, I saw that, or just before that, I saw that people were breaching the steps of the Capitol. And I thought, man, that's kind of crazy that they're allowing people to get up on the steps like that. And then soon after that, I could tell that they're at the door of the Capitol. And I thought, this is really not a good thing. Hopefully that's as far as they're going to go, right? I knew better. I knew that there's no way I'm getting on the steps of the Capitol. let alone to the doors. This is the most heavily guarded, one of the most heavily guarded buildings in Washington, D.C. And so I took a picture with my friends. We were smiling, having a great time, and I soon began to get these text messages from family members and friends saying, because they knew I was there, saying, "Hey, are you okay? Their shot's been fired." And I was like, "What? I'm no. We're having a great time here. Hundreds of thousands of people peacefully congregating at the steps of the Capitol." Except there were people who weren't. And I really feel like those were people, well, we know now that there are certain operatives that were hired by the FBI to be there. And I kind of wonder if they were there instructed to do certain things, like vandalize the Capitol, break into it. And I said to myself, "Oh my gosh, somebody's going to die, because there's no way these police officers are going to let anybody in that building." Well, now we know that they opened up the doors for people and let them in willingly. This is entrapment. We have political prisoners in in the prisons in DC right now. This is America? Really? So, I had to get on today and just speak what the truth was that day. And the truth is our government was against the people, and innocent people died. And people can believe whatever they want, but I was there. I witnessed it. I know exactly what happened. I don't know what happened after they opened. Well, I do, because there is video footage. What happened when they opened the doors of the Capitol and let people in, and conveniently had photographers taking pictures of people while they're roaming around. Yeah, the whole thing stinks. But I have to believe that somehow God's going to use all this for good. But I won't sugarcoat it for anybody who thinks that this was an insurrection, because it wasn't. And I know, I was there. And I have video footage. So anyway, continue to pray for this nation. Continue to pray for you, because I know that we need it. And we need to have our filters really tight, because the fog of war is very thick right now. It has been for the past 4 years, really. And evil doesn't take a break. No matter who's in the office of the administration of, or in the office of the White House, right? It doesn't sleep. So anyway, I see that there are people watching, and I appreciate you. And I hope God blesses you today. Thanks for joining me. And I hope that you'll check out my podcast, the Dr. Toe Talks podcast. If you know anybody who's suffering from blood cancer, specifically chronic lymphocytic leukemia, tell them to go check it out. My third episode, and soon to be the fourth one coming out, is talking about an early treatment protocol, because there is none for CLL right now. And I think the information might be helpful to people. So, all right, I've spoken enough. God bless everybody. And remember, pursue health and live free. Dr. Toe out. Maybe. somehow. See, this is like total learning right here. This is hilarious. I don't even know how to get out of it. All right, well, I'm going to try this. Bye, everybody.